I'm going to show how to make this simple wave pattern using Affinity Photo's procedural texture filter. To get started, I'll start with a new document, set it to 1024 by 1024. Make sure it's in RGB mode. I'm going to fill it with black, and that creates a pixel layer. I'll select that, go over to Live Filters, and down at the bottom, I'll add a live procedural texture. I'm going to start by adding a single equation. I will assign it to all three channels, and I'm going to use an oscillator to create this pattern, and the one I'm going to use is oscsq, and that takes a single parameter, and I'm going to give it a relative x coordinate as a parameter. So relative x is position in pixels of the x dimension of your document. This is 0 over here, and then it goes to whatever the maximum size of the document is over there. So this Rx will go from 0 to 1024 in this case. So right now the frequency is too fast, it's changing every 2 pixels. I'm going to multiply it by a custom input, A, and divide by the height of the document, H. So this will divide it by 1024, and then multiply by whatever A is. I'm going to put in a real value for A and make it 6, I guess. Now you can see in the scope I have my waveform, but I can't really see that on the screen other than this area is very bright and this area is dark. To get this to show up, I'm going to add a relative y times A divided by H. And now I have my waveform. It shows up on the screen. Now right now I only have one waveform, and it's going from 0 to 1 here, only in this area of the screen. So what I'd like to do is have it repeating every so often. Here, Ry plus the oscillator value is in that 0 to 1 range, but it quickly goes less than 0 and higher than 1 out here. So that's why this area is black and this area is white. I'm going to put a fraction on this, and that will remove the whole number portion of the number and leave only the fractional part of it, everything after the decimal point. And there it's repeating over and over. Now these values are still negative, and so I don't see anything over there, but I can just grab this and slide this up. Since I used relative x and relative y, I can pick this up and move it around. So there's my waves. I can change this. Now I might want to be able to change the amplitude of these and the frequency of them independently. So instead of A here, I'm going to change that to a B on that one, and I'm also going to multiply the oscillator inside the fraction parentheses by C. So I'll add another real input for B. Let's make that 5. And then I'm going to add a 0 to 1 range input for C. This one I'm going to call the frequency. And so you can see as I bring this up, the peaks of the waves become more frequent. This one I'm going to call I'll just call it stripes, because as I bring this up, I'll get more and more stripes of waves. And then this one I'm going to call amplitude. I can bring up the amplitude of the waves. Now that I've got my wave pattern, I'm going to add a adjustment to this, and I'm going to use the gradient map. I'll just use the default gradient map, and I'm going to take away one of these, and then I'll just make this a lighter blue. That's the final effect. Here's the final formula. I have fraction, and then C times oscsq, Rx times A over H, plus Ry times B over H. I'm going to try some different gradients to create some different effects now. I'm going to choose this gradient. If you look at Affinity Photo's procedural texture help page, you can see there's a wide variety of different oscillators. All of these, plus more smooth oscillators down here, and harmonic oscillators. I'm going to try some of the other oscillators. I'll start with the first one, which is osci. And there I have this rectangular pattern. Next one I'll try is SC, which is S curve. And it looks like that, a nice smooth sort of sine wave. Next one is CS, which gives us sort of undulating waveform. Here's SQ again. Now each of these next oscillators has an inverse. So if you do SQI, it turns it upside down like that. The RTI gives us two peaks, a peak at the bottom and at the top. Okay, let me know if you have any comments or questions, and thanks for watching.